Luna has about 2 weeks to a month before I plan on taking her to public access where only service dogs are allowed. I do not recommend dogs under the age of 6 months going into places like this for multiple reasons. One, it's too much stimuli. The dog is too young and can't focus for long periods of time, and you want to end on a good note, and being the fact that they have puppy brain, it's just chaos. Don't do that. You don't want to burn out your dog. They're not old enough physically to hold it for long periods of time. I start with 5 minutes in the beginning and build. The criteria that I use for my dogs and other dogs that I am helping train are: 1, being able to pass a canine good citizen test. This includes accepting friendly stranger politely. That's key. They have to behave. Sitting politely for petting. Appearance and grooming. Out for a walk / loose leash walking. Walking through a crowd. Sit and down on command. Staying in place. Coming when called. Reaction to another dog. They have to behave. They cannot be reactive. That includes energy reaction or aggressive reaction. Reaction to a distraction. Some testers use a drop test where they drop something loud on the ground. Some also use stuff that move, which includes leaves blowing in the wind, toys moving. Supervised separation. Sometimes it's 1 minute, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. Ask your tester weeks in advance if you can, so that way you can train. You also want to train longer than you think you have to. That way on the day you're probably going to be anxious, and you don't want your dog to understand that you are anxious and also feed off that anxiety. That is also another topic for another day. They should also know one task. A lot of handlers use deep pressure therapy, which is where your dog lays on you basically like a weighted blanket. I also use the grab dropped items task, which, depending on how your disability affects you, that could work also. They should also know an under command, which can either be underneath the chair that you're sitting in, depending on the chair that you are sitting in, or under your legs. They should know automatic leave-its and leave it in general, because I use a lot of automatic leave-its because it's a lot easier to have their brain working than not have it working while they're working, especially if you're having an alert dog. You cannot bring an untrained dog into public places. This causes the general public to think that all service dogs are untrained and act the same way. I'm not saying that because accidents don't happen, sometimes literally, with actual teams. It's just not the best look on the service dog community, although that does mean that you have to be responsible enough